Recently, there's been a change. So the ops in my life have realized that I am no longer under their control anymore. And I am being convinced and told that I am out of control when in reality I'm out of their control. I am being made to feel like I'm the toxic one or that I'm the crazy one, like my behavior is suddenly unacceptable now that I'm asserting boundaries. And I'm going to allow them to be uncomfortable. It's not my job to please them or fix them or to teach them. They project onto me saying that my YouTube channel has changed me for the worse, suggesting that I should quit YouTube because my behavior has gotten, quote, bad or worse because I have an income and I have become braver when it comes to standing up for myself. I am not in the wrong, and I worry about what they're going to do to take that control back. The louder someone tries to get you to quit something that makes you happy, they they will actually try to control your access to it if they can't get you to quit outright. They want you to be isolated, to question yourself, and to be poor. They want me to accept blame for the things that are not my fault, and I am currently being gaslit into quitting YouTube by my ops in real life. It's very possible that they may physically try to limit my access to YouTube if they can't convince me to quit, and they are intimidated by my growing independence. They say that I am too much or that I've changed or for the worse or that my perspective or from my perspective I'm improving. And to be honest, it was really starting to get to me what they were saying, but I had to remind myself to see the world through my own eyes. The moment I started making money was the moment that we started butting heads. Now they're threatening to kick me out, basically, saying that if I'm making my own money, then I can pay my own bills, which is reasonable. But I really don't make that much to rent at this point, or to find a place at this point. Like, don't threaten me with a good time if you're gonna kick me out. I'll probably find a way to survive. I'll have to live in my car, I guess. But at this point, they want to make me take 2 steps back for every step forward that I take. They want me to stay in a child's place. They want to control the way that people see me, and they are threatened by the support I'm receiving online and do everything to minimize it. It seems that they are comfortable with me being unstable, and it becomes a problem when I start to get in control of my finances and in control of my mental health. It seems that they discredit the progress that I've made on YouTube and downplay my success. Unfortunately, they know about my channel. They are my biggest haters at this point, I guess, and they say that my channel is too negative or too personal, and for the first time in my life, I am trusting myself. I won't quit YouTube just because they want me to. Because they are no longer in control, they are trying to scare me with the street. They threaten to send me to the psych ward, and because I express myself online, the higher I set my boundaries, the worse they say my mental health is, making me doubt my own perceptions. Their energy and attitude towards me is definitely switching up, and the way they will start making you question your sanity is insane. But it's also textbook behavior. And I'm being told I'm difficult to deal with, that I need to be in a facility because I cried and had a bad day and posted it online. I no longer desire to explain myself. So if you guys are new here, my name is Shelby. I exist and I make stuff, as you can see in the background. I've been on YouTube here for about 5 months now, and it's definitely changed my life for the better. And I really appreciate all the positive comments and subscriptions that you guys do. So if you're new, please subscribe, like, and comment. Leave your story below about controlling people in your life, and let's get back to it. They want me defensive and in a constant state of rebuttal, and then they deny it. They want my reaction and pathologize my silence. I don't owe anyone an explanation or an apology just because I'm having emotions that make them uncomfortable. Leaving them in silence makes them feel like they are losing control of the narrative, and the narrative is that I'm unable and incapable of taking care of myself. And even though this is not true, it has become true to a certain extent because of how I have been treated and what I've been through. And I've been living a lie for years. I've been thinking that I have no worth or that I can't do anything for myself, and they have succeeded in controlling the way that I see myself. Now that I am breaking free, I'm suddenly unstable, and unmanageable. Over explanation, honestly, is a trauma response. Those who criticize you are jealous and angry that you can't be manipulated, and so they manipulate the way people see you. Part of the reason I don't have friends is due to the way that I was taught to see myself in the world. Obviously, part of that is also my own volition and not putting myself out there. But I was convinced that the world was so dangerous, or at the very least, I would have to bend over backwards to get people to like me. And I don't think any of that was actually ever true. And this channel has kind of opened me up to that fact. I've come to realize that I've always been likable to a certain extent or to certain people, but I just don't have the faith in myself to meet people. What if I was on my deathbed and then suddenly I am back to live this exact day again? What would I do this time differently? That mindset helps me get through hard times, and I remind myself it is not my job to change or educate anyone but myself. I am the one who needs to change when I am concerned about the actions of others. I need to change the way I react. I need to change the way I respond and let people struggle and feel uncomfortable with the changes that I'm making in my life. The only thing that we have between us at this point is a trauma bond and sunk cost fallacy, and I feel like I have been in a fog for years. I truly have been victimized, but I'm doing everything I can to change my mindset and not become a victim mentality type thinker. I've never felt victimized by my choices. I have felt victimized by circumstances outside of my control, and I think there's a difference between being traumatized and having a victim mentality. I want to start embracing discomfort, not just for me, but allowing myself to allow other people to feel uncomfortable without being bothered or feeling like I have to change my behavior to make them feel more comfortable. I have so many people turn on me because they can't control me. I no longer want to give control to the words of others. People try to humble me and they try to drag me down to their level. And sometimes I wish my ops would just hit me so that there would be some kind of provable physical indicator of their toxic behavior. Oftentimes, controlling behavior is disguised as support and labeled as love. In a lot of ways, it looks like they're doing a lot for me. They pay my bills in order to have, but then when they pay my bills, they have control over my transportation and my phone. And then they hold access to these things over my head when I start to set boundaries or I start making my own money. It's like one step forward, two steps back, like I was saying. One of the things that they say is, I just don't want you to get hurt again or rejected again because I love you. When I so much as try to go to a job interview, they fear my failure and feel like I am so weak that I can't handle basic employment or another rejection. There are also those that enjoy mentoring you until they can't control your next move. There are those who want you to remain weak so that they can continue to be the hero in your story. They say, don't outshine the master, but there comes a point where you have to outgrow your teachers and move on. Sometimes people frame control as care, encouraging you to move away from friends and family, move in with them, or stop working on because they care about you. The truth is, controlling people are out of control in their own life, and they project their unhinged and unmanageable behavior onto you. When their lives are out of control, they gain a sense of control by controlling you. They only acknowledge your reactions to their provocations and not the provocations themselves. I want to believe that I'm stronger than the systems that have shaped me. Spineless people will despise you for having a backbone, and it makes me question my strength and sanity. I feel like my ops have taught me absolutely nothing. The shelter girl to abuse pipeline is real, and we are torn away from our worth and kept uneducated to be easy to manipulate as possible for other people. When people can't get a reaction out of you, it bothers their spirit. Never give them satisfaction of taking the bait and expressing your negative emotions. Respond, but don't react. The people will take up all the oxygen in the room by playing the victim and using their sob story to maintain control and sympathy, but the only times when I interact with these sorts of people is when I have to. I have saved myself from a lot of pain by recognizing these patterns and cutting them off early. But when it comes to family or coworkers, it's a bit more difficult. Maturing is realizing that no one should have access to your emotions. If someone can make you feel euphoria, they can make you feel the equal and opposite equivalent. Starve them of ego validation by making them feel like they can't control you. Giving someone control over your actions by allowing yourself to react emotionally puts you at extreme risk for manipulation. You can only control your reactions. Giving people access to your emotions directly feeds their ego. You cannot control gossip, but you can starve them out of a reaction. Life is obviously 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react, and that's what they say. And when someone disrespects you, you have to ask, what did you do to make them feel so comfortable disrespecting you? You have to take responsibility for the way, if being disrespected is a pattern of behavior in your life, you have to try to take responsibility. Of course, unless you're like seriously disabled and you can't defend yourself at all. Never make excuses for disrespectful behavior. It is never an accident and it's never a joke. They will play it off as a joke or an accident every single time and always say something but don't react in emotion. A lot of times when your nervous system activates, I tend to freeze up and it seems like I'm ignoring disrespect instead of entering into an uncontrollable survival response. Overprotective behavior is a sign that someone is becoming controlling. So is violating boundaries. People pleasing, and to be honest with you, I think people pleasers are kind of guilty of certain things themselves. I think people pleasing can, in fact, be a form of manipulation covertly. You are trying to make them like you even if you are being disingenuous and not being yourself. And people pleasing is also a form of control. Telling someone to be the bigger person is also a form of control and manipulation as well, because some people will try to please bad company, and they'll please abusive people over protecting people who are dependent on them. Immediately remove people's access to you and always go into new relationships with an exit strategy in mind before you even start. This is kind of what I do. In order to pivot, you need resources to leave, so make sure you have an emergency fund and a back door to escape before you ever consider getting close to someone in the first place. People love to call you sensitive for setting boundaries. They minimize their behavior as jokes, and then they are the first to celebrate your failures and minimize your successes. Just because people have more than you materially doesn't mean they can't be jealous of you. Interestingly enough, jealousy can't be covered up by what you have. And if you are not sure of who you are, other people who are not sure of who they are will become jealous of you if you have self-assuredness, because that's something that money can't buy. People who hurt you and act like you hurt them by holding them accountable to their actions are manipulators. No one enables an abuser more than their own family, and manipulators will waste your time. They are prolific time wasters. They use you to meet their needs, and then they leave you high and dry. And a lot of times people in special spiritual communities use it as a way to abuse and control you. Like God and religion are just weapons and tools to master manipulators. Victims don't know they're being victimized until the trap shuts and it's too late. They take the bait, and these people know how to be charming. They know how to lure you and to act like they're the one of your dreams. Controlling people don't lose their temper. They strategically weaponize it and use it to control you. Everyone will encounter a master manipulator at least once, but it's how you proceed that makes all the difference. Focus on an action plan and boundaries and responding in the moment, pushing back in the moment. Constant criticism disguised as just being honest is just a way to tear you down. Remember that according to the manipulator, they are always the victim and you are the villain. When it comes to saying what you're looking for in a partner, you have to be careful. I've noticed that some people will try to mold themselves into what you've said in order to trick you and pretend like they're the one for you. When someone talks over you and interrupts you, they're obviously being disrespectful, but at the same time, backhanded compliments are also a weapon in the repertoire. And reclaiming control of your life means stopping trying to control other people. Unfortunately, a lot of times we are so used to chaos that stability starts to feel like boredom. Our nervous system wants the familiar hell over the new unknown of peace and stability. So we have to take accountability for our own healing and not push away stable people just because we're not used to that type of dynamic. Always avoid over-explaining. They are not listening to understand, they are listening to gather information. I want to grow from my past. I want to move from victim into victor. The victim mentality is one that I need to outgrow, and reclaiming my power is very important. No one outside of me is going to come and give me anything that I'm unable to give myself. You have to decide that you will make it happen for yourself. Find everything in you that can't. You have to find everything that you can't control, identify it, and let it go. Miracles never happen in your comfort zone. I'm losing so much power to procrastination and dwelling on the past. I am numbing and soothing the uncomfortable energy that I don't want to feel. Smoking, scrolling, shopping, all these are ways that I numb myself. And I have to say out loud that I take my power back from these things. Visualize your power returning to you. No one is responsible for where I am in my life but me. There is someone else out there that has been through the same thing and has turned their struggle into gold. I have to realize that I can do this on a daily basis to counter the victim mentality. Everybody has a sob story. Don't let yours become your identity. People who truly care about you will care about their impact that their actions have on you. Have enough money all the time and invest at least 30% of what you make in order to have an exit strategy. Have a beauty routine and do things to make it look like your life is together, like dressing well, even if your life is falling apart. Pursue your education and never stop learning. Create distance between you and the people who are causing you to lose power. And I know this is easier said than done. It's something that I'm struggling with personally myself. There's no amount of trying to control every factor of a situation that's ever going to change if it's meant for you or not. And what you resist persists. Give thanks for all the close calls that you have avoided. I literally have to catch my breath when it comes to realizing how much worse my life could be and how many close calls that I've dodged. I look at people who have had their own children turned against them. Some, even famous people like Britney Spears are going through parental alienation. And this could so easily have been me if I had taken a different path. I asked God to reveal the first step to me when it comes to reclaiming myself. I let go of the shock and terror of having my power taken from me, and I have to move on regardless of whether or not the people who have hurt me apologize. I am praying for divine timing that will make all of my past trials make sense. And people who can transform pain into prosperity are alchemists. I want to become an alchemist in my life. In my case, I have already transmuted my story into a successful YouTube channel, and I'm so grateful for the nearly 20,000 of you who have subscribed. For years, my story existed only in isolation. The isolation drug me down, and I was afraid to share myself with anyone. And as soon as I started sharing, things started to shift, and it's only been 5 months. Not every comment has been so supportive, obviously. I have received hate mail, I have received negative response videos that question my integrity, but everything that I have shared has been true to my heart. They villainize me when they can't use, abuse, and manipulate me, and maybe it's time for me to enter my villain era, to remain unapologetic and move through the transgressions and mistakes and continue to evolve and change. I was so afraid of being my authentic self. I knew that certain people would attack me if I came online and started sharing my story and just started being vulnerable and real and expressing everything that I wanted to express, even my most negative emotions in my darkest moments. If I had made this channel any sooner, I don't know if I could have handled the criticism that I'm currently receiving. Everything is coming in divine timing, and everyone who has led with authenticity has dealt with this attack. Authenticity and ignoring the noise can be enough to make even your most loyal fans turn on you. I have to love me, and I know that love on the internet is fickle. I know that you guys are supportive and you can turn on me at any time though, and support in general can change tides at any time. Unhealed people project their control onto you and try to make you stop doing what they don't have the bravery to do themselves. When you post on the internet, people will come for you. When someone disagrees online, it's never just a disagreement. They usually end up making personal attacks. That being said, I just want to say that your guys' positive support means the world. So please comment, subscribe, and engage positively with this video. It helps counteract the negativity that I'm receiving. And when you start to shine, people will start to dim your light. Usually when I go to profiles of my haters, they don't have as much as I do in terms of subscribers, in terms of videos, in terms of the effort they put onto their channel. And very few people are willing to punch down. Most haters have less and are trying to capitalize on your success and use your name for clout. That being said, this channel is real and raw. I am a real person. I documented my good days and my bad days. Some people think my dark days and more negative videos are disingenuous or just for clout, but I'm telling you guys that they're real. I do have ups and downs. I have very intense emotions that come like flashes in a pan, and then the next day they're gone. This channel is a way for me to document my personal journey of life, and I'm not in the best place right now, obviously, but as I grow and evolve, I hope I'm able to document that change and bring you all along with me. I am a real person. I'm not an influencer or a business. This channel is only run by me, and I just wanted to thank you guys again for all the support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.